Am I on? Oh,
Yep.
Okay. All right, so this is my fairly willing participant, Miss Bonnie. She is a North Country Cheviot. She's about a year old, so this will be her first year. It's your first haircut. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go through it a little slow, so this isn't my normal speed, and she might get a little mad at me for going slow, but she's small and it's manageable. So the reason we put the sheep on their butts is they have a fight or flight or freeze. We have bred for the freeze. So when you put them on their butt, their job is to just, maybe they won't kill me if I stand still. So I'm gonna go through shearing and then we'll answer any and all questions, and I'll go through how we take the fleece from here, skirt it, and how we wrap it up before it goes to the mill. Okay? No ma'am. No ma'am. I lied. Can I have my screwdriver? So we take off all the belly wool first. That's garbage. It's not going to make anything good other than compost or manure tea bags or whatever else you want to use it for, because it's normally the pretty gross stuff, because that's where they're laying down. Same thing with this spot. This is called the crutch. I don't want that in my wool. to shear or shave their legs. Sometimes you get a little nick. The beauty of the sheep is they have lanolin, natural antiseptic, doesn't bother it at all. It's really hard when dealing with a live animal like moving around. There's lots of wrinkles, there's lots of skin, so it's hard to get it perfectly tight every time. You want to go back in and I'll answer questions? I know, friend, oh my goodness. Want to go back in with Violet? She's great. Okay. If anybody's ever spent any time around sheep, you know, they're a herd animal. Violet's going to pretend like she's never met Bonnie before in her life. So if they start to butt heads, that's what they're doing. She looks different, she smells a little bit different. Okay, so when we're done with that, normally your wool handler will take the fleece and lay it all out. 9 times out of 10 it stays together. But the reason we do shearing the way we do, which is the New Zealand style, with them on their butt and rolling them around, is so when I flip this over, I can look at the sheep and I know what's what. Sorry, it's been a long winter, I'm a little out of breath. Okay. So from laying it down, we can obviously tell this is the top. That's the part that leans over. That's going to have your most vegetable matter, or VM. Okay? That's hay, sticks, briars, whatever falls over top of it, you know, for meat. The next cruddiest place is going to be your neck wool. See how we've got a ton of hay and crud in there? Same thing. She's sticking her head in that feeder, eating all the hay, eating all the round bale. That's gross. So when we're skirting, you don't want this. Insulation, garbage. So your best fiber is going to be along the back and along your sides. There. Because you can see how crimpy everything is right there. She's actually a perfect little Cheviot. So this is my favorite part. Especially when it looks like a crinkle cut french fry. That's like the best thing pieces there. Okay?
What breed is the sheep?
She's a North Country Cheviot. So when I'm starting, I'm looking for any growths. Like we already took the belly wool off, we already took the crop out, gone. But here's my back side. So there's a little bit of up on this, like you can see, like there's the tags, the gnarliness. We don't want any of that. You don't want to put that next to your skin. You also, because of how our production line goes, commercial spun stuff, even the stuff that you see here that's sold small farm fiber, unless they have their own production mill, which is probably no, I have to pay to ship this dirty fleece down to North Carolina and have it scoured. So I have to pay for anything that's gross to get shipped down there. Once it's scoured down there, then it's going to go to whatever mill you're sending it to. So there's another shipping charge. So the wool handler needs to make sure that this is nice and clean, because we don't want to spend any extra money to get this fiber from the sheep to the consumer. So we also want to look like, see how this stuff's all nice and crimpy, looks like all my crinkle cut french fries? And then we got back here, we're getting a little breachy. Like this is her hip move where she's laying down, chilling with her friends. So it gets these weird tips on it. Depends on your spinner, depends on your, you know, what your end product is. Like, this is not going to make a wool bikini. This is going to be itchy. This stuff up here is going to be your wool bikini. But when we're starting, we want to take all that gross out. Anything that's potted together, that might be urine, that might be sweat, it might be lanolin. I don't want to ship that. So we go around, we take all that off. Okay. Because she's a young lamb, we did a couple double passes. So everybody knows, you know, wool's itchy, wool's awful. It probably goes back to your shearer. Okay? All these little extra bits. I just wanted her first year to get the wool off on that nice piece, for her to have a good experience. So next year she doesn't take the snot out of me. And so I would cut her. that means sometimes you get second cuts. This is what makes your wool itchy. Especially if you're trying to do like long draws and stuff, because it's gonna have two blunt ends on it. So when this gets mixed in, this is what makes your fiber itchy and awful. So the other part of being a wool handler is shaking all that nonsense out. That's why we normally do it on the screen. My sheet for this, when I'm doing fleeces for like the big shows like Maryland and New York, I hit it with a leaf blower. I have a metal patio table, I throw it on patio table, and just go like this with a leaf blower a couple times, and there's no vegetable matter left, there's no food left, there's no dirt. Tap down. But, okay, so like if you're doing, so I do a lot of fiber festivals. Maryland, Michigan, New York, all that kind of stuff. They have fiber shows. So, or even if you're selling this, you want the best side to look forward, right? Because, we look, visual is a big thing. So what we want to do is we want to flip in the ends, so everything's on top. And then this is those hips, which is kind of reachy. We don't really want to show that. So we're going to roll that into the middle of it. So whenever you go to all these fiber festivals and you see those wonderful clear bags of goodness on the table, it always looks best. So look at all my crinkle cut french fries, all that crinkly yearlingness. That's how we go from sheep to interactive to the processing. Okay, any questions? He's got a microphone, or you can yell, whatever you want to do. Questions about business? Questions about how far I do this, what animals I do? Any questions? Okay.
What's on?
Feel free, you guys can come up and touch this. Your hands are going to get greasy because, again, she's got laid on.
It was awesome, first of all. Thank you for doing that. I can't imagine what it feels like at the start with an audience. Like, I've never done that. I was super lucky and excited to have gone to some sheep shearing schools last year. I went out to Colorado and also California, just for the purposes of shearing our own flock. But then I got super hooked. It's so fun. I got it just watching you just now. Like, I can't wait to start again. But in order to justify the investment of getting my own equipment, I had to make the plan of like, okay, you're gonna have to do other people's too. And I was trained by these guys that go out on these, few-week kind of like shearing benders, and they do like hundreds of sheep a day, and that's how they're able to work their business model. I can never do that for lots of reasons. It doesn't fit my current life situation, but I still want to be part of this movement of facilitating small flock shearing. And right now, I'm like literally like, all right, I gotta make a website. I gotta like come up with some like fee structure.
I don't have a website.
How about what are your fees? What do you do,
So,
like farm visit per animal?
I am in demand for the simple fact of I do not do big flocks. I will not do a flock over 30. I am a one-woman show. Sometimes I have my wonderful husband to help me. Sometimes I call my stepchildren into helping me. Depends on where I'm going, because I've started to learn some of my clientele, if they're going to actually have to work or not. But the guys that are doing the big week-long runs, and so if you can't tell, she's not stressed out at all. She's going to lay down and just chill out. She's like, that wasn't so bad. But they're paid by the hour, not by the head. I charge a mileage fee, so the wear and tear on my car is taken care of. I charge $80 to show up, and that's equipment, because this stuff's not cheap, as you know. And then I charge by the head. So it's like an a la carte kind of thing. So you each have a one charge, anything that's masculine, because it's going to be bigger, heavier. Rams are going to give you a run for your money. I charge more for those, and then I have my least favorite breed on the entire planet. So ewes are $8, rams are $15, baby doll Southdown sheep are $20.
I get that. Yep.
I mean, there's a purpose to it, but you have to be able to do what you're going to do. And you're going to have people that freak out about your pricing and stuff, and the biggest thing that you can say is, I hope you find somebody that fits your budget. Because you have to charge what you're worth. I know what I'm worth. And that goes across the board, whether you're shearing sheep or selling things. Know your worth.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And if you have any business questions you want to get going on this, get my number and stuff. We'll help you out. Okay? Any other questions?
How often do you oil those when you're working through like more than 2?
So, normally I run oil through my flexi. So that keeps that part lubricated and helps me into my ferrule, which is my connection. This is actually also an oil bath, so this is a little different than some of the other ones. So I have a screw here that holds maybe about an ounce of oil. And I'm going to fill it up about every 30 to 35 sheep. But that also, it's got bearings in it instead of some of those, like with it's got gears in it and not bearings. So it's easier to fix. I went with, how can I do this without having to spend as much money as some of these other guys do? And how can I fix it myself? So I can take this all apart and fix it myself. So there's an oil bath in here. So really, I'm only, when I change my blades every 5 to 6 animals, depending on how greasy they are, is when I oil my blades.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? About fiber, about sheep, about production of sheep, why we do this?
How long did it took you to like feel comfortable like at first?
Oh, I'm still not comfortable. So my 9 to 5, I'm a veterinary technician. So I always have that, if something hits the fan, I can most likely fix it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you guys want to come up and feel how sharp these are, I'm not going to tell you how many times I've taken a whole fingertip off. But if you want to feel like right there, like they're real sharp. So they'll go through muscle, they'll go through bone, they'll go through whatever. So again, it's that keeping the sheep in step and keeping that skin tight so it glides over top of it so you don't get into that problem. The running joke between most of my mentors, some of the older guys that I deal with and talk to and everything, every 100 sheep you like level up is what they say. I don't believe that. I still feel like I'm way down here. I have a lot of imposter syndrome. I call myself a post-criminal a lot. I don't know how I got here. But I mean, it's all muscle memory. It's the same steps over and over and over again. So,
Did you go for you about tech How did you?
we're gonna blame that lady that's over there at Ross Farms. She went to high school with my stepdad, and I met her through fair and stuff. Her son's about my age. And we met at the horse farm, and she taught me how to knit, and she taught me how to weave, and she asked me to come to the farm one year and said, oh, just help us with shearing season. You know how to move animals real good. I'm like, okay. So I watched these 3 Mennonite guys just get their butts handed to them all day. And I'm like, nah. And she said, do you have any interest in learning how to do it? I'm like, no. She goes, you can make a lot of money. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So my normal joke is I'm dumb and I like money. That's how I got into this. But that's literally it, is I'm dumb and I like money. But I blame Amy fully for this. She hooked me up with Emily Hickman. Actually, sorry, Emily Chamlin, who is one of the best female shearers in the United States. She's competed in Scotland and stuff. She's on the USA shearing team. And I learned from her and was supposed to intern with her, and then COVID happened. So I sheared at Amy's farm for a little while, and then, you know, Amy has like 250 sheep, and that's not exactly enough to keep her, her stand filled. So, in an effort to keep some farms farming in our area, they pay me to go and shear for the clip. So, sheep farmers get to keep their sheep, get to keep their pasture node down, get to sell, market lambs, and don't have to pay for the shearing. So Amy doesn't have the costs associated with raising the sheep. but we get the fiber at the end, which is what Amy's really after. Yeah.
I really liked learning today about how interconnected everything is.
Yeah, that's the biggest part.
She's half deaf.
That's the biggest part that I try and do, and Amy tries to do, is the heritage and rare breed stuff and the small farmers. Because I mean, if they all go, we lose that. They lose revenue, we lose access to it. So I'm on the list for Livestock Conservancy. If they have a flock of sheep that needs sheared that's a rare breed, I'll pack up my car and go. Because I want, if those sheep don't have a purpose, they cease to exist. Same thing with, that farmer, like, if they can't get a shearer, they can't keep the sheep. So we're trying to keep everything contained and running still, which is hard.
I think she referred to it as making waste.
That would be your belly wool and stuff, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just a specific type of sheep that their wool is just not good for part of it. It's the part of the sheep that may not be.
So there's a lot that goes into a fiber. A lot. It goes back to, it starts all the way back with genetics. If you're breeding crud sheep, you're going to get another crud sheep. If the sheep doesn't have the right nutrition to grow a good fiber, it's going to be a crud fiber. If it wasn't sheared at the right time, like Shetlands, like little Violet there, who's just chilling, they're primitive breed sheep, which will rue, which means they have a natural wool break where sometimes when I go, it's really fun, it'll already be separated and I can literally just grab it and peel it off like a rubber. The problem with that is if you are 2 weeks too early or 2 weeks too late, these aren't getting through. And that'll also make a crap race. So it's a lot of things. Like it even goes into like facility management. Like if the sheep don't have a place to get in out of the weather, it's going to get breachy, it's going to get gross.
So with each batch or harvest, it could be a percentage that goes in this pile and another percentage, and it can vary.
It can vary yearly. It can vary, like, last year Drew had a lot of issues with sheep getting a mystery fever. We couldn't figure it out. We had the vet out over and over and over again. And we were, unfortunately, losing sheep left and right. We couldn't figure it out. And that caused a lot of problems in last year's flip, was there was a lot of wool break and a lot of patchy sheep because they had this fever and the body just ceased growing it and caused a weak spot.
And that, I just know from my own hair growth, if I have some insult,
Yep.
it could be years before I get back to wow.
Yep. I've got one farm, she's got a mineral deficiency. That's the best guess we have without, going to specials like a Ohio State or something. But when I'm shearing the sheep, over different parts of their body, my blades just skirt right over it. I cannot get down to the skin to save my life. But when I get it cracked open or I grab a hold of it and pull, there's about 3 inches packed down there. So she's missing some sort of a vitamin or mineral or something that's causing a dead spot, like a thick spot. So that could even hinder it.
Are there scientists who study this?
Oh yeah.
Who can say,
Yeah.
this, and this?
Yep.
And
A lot of them are out in Europe. A lot of them are doing great things. Amy has a gentleman that she follows on YouTube. I can't remember his name. He's in England, and he does all of the science about fiber.
I'm sure you stick it under the microscope, you can see.
Yeah. So that's.
Even grossly, you can see like some of it looks wavy and some of it.
So wool is normally measured in microns. So Duckworth out in Oregon, Colorado, one of those two, out west. They're a big company that does woolwear. They actually, out of every single sheep, so every single merino that they have on their property gets sheared, individually bagged. The chunk gets taken out and put on a special stretchy thing, like a little clamping thing, and it goes to the lab. So it can get divvied out. This is 40 microns, this is 35. So because they have outerwear texture all the way down to underwear. So the finer the micron, the closer to that wool bikini that we're going to get.
Amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
So I'm going to turn it on.
No.